We do want to begin.
And Adam Grant.
And Adam Grant. We begin with new evidence connected to Donald Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election. According to a federal judge, Trump signed legal documents claiming voter fraud in Georgia, knowing the information was false. The case is part of a records dispute between the House Select Committee investigating January 6th and the architect of the plan to overturn the election, attorney John Eastman. The judge ordered Eastman to turn over 33 new documents, including 4 emails that the judge says demonstrate an effort by Trump and his attorneys to press false claims in federal court. According to the ruling, one of the documents includes an email exchange in which Eastman tells other members of Trump's legal team that the statistics they were about to cite alleging voter fraud in Georgia were false. Even Eastman knew they were false. In a December 31st email, Eastman writes this, quote, although the president signed a verification for the state court filing back on December 1st, he has since been made aware that some of the allegations have been inaccurate. For him to sign a new verification with that knowledge would not be accurate. But Trump signed the new verification anyway, swearing under oath the false information was correct. According to the judge, quote, the emails show that President Trump knew the specific numbers of voter fraud were wrong, but continued to tout those numbers both in court and to the public. The court finds that these emails are sufficiently related to and in furtherance of a conspiracy to defraud the United States. An attorney for Eastman and a spokesman for Trump did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So, Joe, here we sort of see in writing what we knew all along, that Donald Trump knew he lost and was searching and fishing for information, even if it was completely invented to make his point. Right. That he won.
Yeah, it's still stark, though, when we get the documentary evidence, when you actually see it written down on the page, when the judge says what we all know, but says it in a court of law, that Donald Trump lied to the court. He knew he was lying to the court. He did it anyway. This is also the same judge who back in March said it's more likely than not that Donald Trump committed crimes trying to stop the vote on January the 6th. Let's bring in right now New York Times congressional reporter Luke Broadwater. Luke, a lot to digest here. A judge saying Trump lied to the court. He knew he lied to the court. And the same judge saying earlier that it's more likely than not that Trump committed a crime on January the 6th.
Yes. Hi, good morning. The ruling is really striking for a number of reasons. One, I think, was that email you highlighted from John Eastman. Viewers may remember him as the architect of the plan to overturn the election. This is a guy who was advising Donald Trump in every way possible to try to stay in office, and even was sending emails to Greg Jacob, the lawyer for Mike Pence, as the Capitol was under siege, blaming Mike Pence for the Capitol siege, not Donald Trump. So the fact that John Eastman would send in an email saying Donald Trump should not sign these false claims because we now know that they are false, I think was quite striking. And it does line up with all the evidence we've seen from Bill Barr, from other top officials at the Justice Department and the White House counsel's office, who told Donald Trump directly that the things he was saying about widespread election fraud were just flatly false and that he should stop saying them.
So, Luke, I guess the question for a lot of people is, where are the consequences for this? There's just such a mountain of evidence. You've got Donald Trump on tape talking to the Georgia Secretary of State saying, find me the 11,000 some votes to flip the state. Now you've got these emails, the documentary evidence showing his own attorneys saying, yeah, we're just kind of making up these statistics to support a false claim. So where does the rubber meet the road here? Who's building this case, and will Donald Trump ever have to face it?
Right. Well, I think what we've seen so far is that the January 6th committee's actions have served as a roadmap for both the Justice Department and for local prosecutors in Georgia. And this specifically is something that concerns Georgia. So I assume that they will take high interest of these emails, which are now ordered to be released by a federal judge. We know that a group of attorneys for the January 6th committee has been tasked with coming up with a criminal referral, whether there should be one, exactly what the charges should be, and what is the evidence that supports those charges. And so we could see that coming out of the committee to the Justice Department as well. And so this same judge who said that he believed Donald Trump more likely than not obstructed an official proceeding of Congress and defrauded the American people now is putting more evidence on the bone to support one of those charges. So, we haven't seen all of these emails yet that the judge has ordered to release, but the one that was included in the ruling yesterday is quite revealing as to Donald Trump, what he should have known, what he did know, and what John Eastman should have known and did know.
Luke, what are the potential repercussions for knowingly signing a false document? If Donald Trump did know and he continued to push this information forward through the legal system, what are the consequences potentially?
Right. Well, you could see there have been a number of consequences against Donald Trump's lawyers. There have been complaints that have been filed with various bars across the country seeking to disbar or discipline many of them. Some have been hauled in before grand juries to testify. Whether there will actually be consequences for Donald Trump himself, since he did sign this document, I think, remains in question. There are many arms of the Justice Department and other investigations that have been looking into Trump, but to yet no one has really pulled the trigger or gotten too close to the former president to hold him accountable in any way. And so I think a lot of the country is asking that same question: can you get away with things again and again and again over a number of years and there not be any consequences? And I guess we're going to have to wait and see exactly what law enforcement will do about this.
And again, Trump did sign the document anyway, knowing it was false, that verification. New York Times congressional reporter Luke Broadwater. Luke, thanks so much. We appreciate it.